Is that already going?
Oh yeah, baby, we're live. We're live here, the Dream Crushers podcast. How's your weekend been going? How was your Saturday?
Garbage. So when I was putting on the door handle, I wanted to make sure that the handle was straight.
It's important.
It just had to be symmetrical, and I figured everything else wouldn't matter. Just have to make the door handle work, because if it was anywhere else, it would have looked like shit. So I just had to put the door handle there and then figure it out later. There's not enough room to put the linkage, so now the linkage has to go all the way down to the bottom of the door, under the window glass, back up to the latch. So it's a stupid amount of linkage, and I'm worried that it's going to rattle and be loose. But so far, so good.
Just so people are aware of what we're talking about, so it doesn't sound like we're just talking gibberish. Aaron is currently working on a suicide door for this Lexus sedan, fully custom suicide door. Was not a kit. He made everything for it, and so we were talking about him relocating the handle to the front of the door now, so it can open backwards. And it's been a fun journey for him. Lots of complicated process, lots of failures, but it's getting close to being done, right?
That is probably exactly what this podcast is going to be all about, is failures and successes. Things are not going well, but things don't always go well. But I'm still winning.
True.
So it's still a success.
True that. Going beyond motivation. Motivation lasts a little while. I think it was David Goggins that was talking about motivation isn't good enough. Motivation will get you excited about something, and you get pumped up, and you might last 3 days for you, but then once somebody gets motivated, they want to go out, exercise, go running, but as soon as they go outside and it's windy and rainy, they're like, nah, I'd rather just sit on my couch. It's like sometimes you need a little bit more than motivation. It takes a lot of things.
I don't remember if it was that same thing. Somebody recently was talking about that motivation's garbage, and it's fleeting.
Yeah.
And that true motivation comes from actually doing. So it's a terrible cycle.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the motivation to get started on something.
Yeah.
But once you get started on that something, it creates motivation to keep going. So just sitting around trying to get motivated to start something is essentially pointless. If you just suck it up, start on something, the act of accomplishing just something is motivation enough to keep going anyway. So
I agree with that. Yeah, I heard in this other video that I was watching yesterday, it was just like a compilation of different motivational clips, and this guy was talking about how he thought that it was more difficult for really smart people to be successful because they're really intellectual and they're thinking about things, and he said sometimes you just gotta do it, no matter if you're good at it or not, or it's gonna suck at first. Like, just doing it is more self-motivating than just thinking about doing it. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
For me personally, that's spot on.
Yeah.
My brother, when I got this, he didn't seem thrilled about it, because I think he knew how extensive it was to cut apart a Lexus.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, good luck. And unfortunately, I think he's scared to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm also scared to do it, but I know once I get started, I'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
But if I'm scared and I decide to not do it, then it's just not going to get done. So you gotta start somewhere. I think it's important for people to realize that everybody sucked at some point. It doesn't matter. Everybody was a beginner at some point in time, even if they started when they were super young. Like, they were still a beginner. Yeah, that's something I was thinking of last week, actually. When you're born, do you think you have set skills in your blood already, or do you think everything is learned?
I was actually listening to something that was talking about this exact thing. They were talking about the difference between talents and skills. Some people are naturally talented from birth to do something, and they're good at it. skills, I think it was Will Smith that was talking about it, and he said that skills are your craft that you shape. So some people are like naturally really fast runners, it's easy for them to become skilled quickly at running, but some people are really bad at running, or maybe they're really overweight at this point in time, but there's people, I've seen stories of people like David Goggins, for example. Again, he was like almost 400 pounds, out of shape. He just decided to go for a run one day. He had these dreams of becoming a Navy SEAL one day, and he went from sucking down giant milkshakes to running ultra marathons. He became a Navy SEAL, did all these crazy things, and it's like, I don't think that was a natural talent for him, at least in the beginning. That was something that he had to work on really hard. He was just an everyday guy, and he worked on it. So I think that there are some things that people can attain a little bit easier, but you still got to work at it.
So do you think anything can be learned?
To an extent. I don't think everybody has the potential to be as good as others, maybe, but I think that you can always get better. You can always improve, for sure, 100%. And I don't think that people have to only be good at one thing in their life. I think a lot of times we hear, find what you're good at, find your one true talent, and, try and make that your job or whatever, so you can love your job, or find what you're good at and become successful at that one thing. Everybody's got to find their one thing, but I honestly believe that if you really enjoy doing things and you enjoy learning things, you can get good at a lot of things. Me and you are living proof of that. We are interested in many different areas. For people who don't know us, we're professional automotive technicians, so we work in a shop full time. That's our day job. On the side, we both enjoy doing fabrication products, making custom things, whether it's on cars or fences, or really anything that has to do with metalwork, making things, crafting things. I enjoy working with leather as well. We both know how to sew and stuff like that. And so I think you're kind of limited by your own beliefs in yourself and your mindset, I think it's super important for people to be open-minded to learning, and remember that once you get out of high school or college or whatever, you're not done learning just because you're out of school. You're a student of life for your entire life. You're always learning from the time you're born to the time you die, as long as you stay open-minded and don't think to yourself that you've learned everything and you're as smart or as good at something as you're ever going to be. There's people that are 80, 90 years old that are picking up new hobbies, or just deciding, they want to do something, and they go and do it, I think you're limited by yourself.
I'm sure, depending on who you ask, too. School's absolute garbage anyways.
Yeah,
because they don't teach you shit when you're a kid. That when you're learning about Napoleon, and when am I ever going to use this in life? And for me personally, I feel like all the good shit that I've learned has been after school.
Yeah. I think that there is an importance in some kind of a base, and I think it would be a lot more helpful. Something like Neil deGrasse Tyson said was that learning how to learn is more important than just regular subject matter, math skills, or whether it's science or English or whatever. Learning how to learn properly, how to question everything so that you can gain the knowledge that you are looking for. So often we're taught okay, 2 + 2 is 4. That's that because it is that. And when we go to other history or whatever, they just tell us about it. But I think it's important to know how to continue learning throughout schooling. I think school should be a good base. And because obviously if we don't know how to read or write or do any kind of math at all, it's going to be a lot harder to learn the fun things that we want. But yeah, I agree that not everybody needs to learn calculus or other things. I think it needs to be a little bit more tailored, you know. Mm-hmm. And not saying that that's easy, you know, to tailor school for every single individual, but I think it's definitely worth it.
Kind of jumping around a little bit, but talking about open-mindedness and stuff like that. For me, that's what I would love this to be, is beneficial to other people watching it.
Yeah.
Bring value to other people and getting them to open up their minds to learn. Because I know so many people that don't think the way I do, and that's fine. But I just want to learn everything constantly, nonstop.
Yeah.
It's actually a problem of mine, to where I learn this, I get good at it, and then something else gets my attention. Ooh, shiny, and I want to learn about that. That's why I have a sewing machine. Really? I got way too much stuff to do. I don't need a freaking sewing machine, but I had to, especially if it has to do with crafts or something, I want to learn how to do it. So I think it's beneficial, and I think it's because of my open-mindedness and willing to learn everything, realizing that I don't know anything and just wanting to learn more. How do you open up somebody else's mind when they don't already think that way?
Yeah, I don't think that you really can force somebody to change, but I think almost kind of like leading by example, or it's a lot easier to convince somebody of something by showing them that you're doing it already. There was this one thing that I heard like a long time ago, and it was talking about the sun and the wind were having an argument about who could get this person. It was like this little story. They were talking about who could get this person to take their jacket off. This person was just like walking down the sidewalk. It was like a normal day. And the wind said, oh, I could get that guy's jacket off. And so the wind blew and blew and blew and blew and was blowing like 200 miles an hour trying to blow this guy's jacket off. And what happened, the guy just clenched up, and he was cold, and he clenched up, and he didn't let go of the jacket. He didn't want to let it go. And the sun was like, okay, let me try. And so the sun just brightened up and got super warm, and the guy got hot, and he took the jacket off himself. And the moral of the story was, it's a lot easier to convince somebody of something than to force them to do it. You know, a lot of people, especially as adults, they're kind of set in their ways, and you can't really tell them anything. You know, they feel like they know something themselves, and they don't want to change their opinion on it. And like one of the things that I've kind of learned in recent is it's a lot easier just to show them a different way instead of telling them to do it that way. You just show them, you give them the option to choose for themselves. I think it's super important that people have options to choose for themselves. It makes them feel in control of their own life, you know? It's important for all of us. Nobody wants to just do something because somebody is told to do it. There's a reflex opposition there.
So when it's somebody you care about, I guess it's...
Makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
You just want them to listen. But
I guess everybody thinks that they themselves are right, as do I. And so I want other people to think the way I do and open up. But I seriously think that it's very beneficial. I know that I have not always been that way. The whole you can do anything you set your mind to mentality is pretty new to me for the last few months, and I feel like it's totally changed my life for the better.
Yeah, that's
taking accountability for everything. That's something I want to do a video on, just a YouTube video of just talking about similar. It's funny because we had to read that book. What was it? The
Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
That one. I was already on that mindset previously with the whole you can do anything you set your mind to thing. And that's pretty much what it's based off of. It's not a bunch of hocus pocus and stuff. It's simply...
It's very simple.
Very simple. I mean, it's... If you want to get the mail and you're sitting on the couch, you just have to make the decision to get up and go get the mail. Yeah. Granted, success and whatever you want in life isn't that easy, but it is that simple, just that you have to do something about it. And if you don't, you're never going to get the mail.
Yeah.
So it's so profound and so simple, and I've heard it a million times. Just that one sentence, I'm just stuck on it now. You can do anything you set your mind to. It's like parents love to say it, famous people love to say it, and it just gets said so often that I don't really think of it as true anymore. And I think a lot of people do, and it sounds like magic, and it's really not. But mostly it's all based around Jocko's thing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah. He has a very disciplined and simple way of going about things. And in relation to that, a few months back, I started getting into some like meditation and stuff, and I downloaded this app. And one of the like senior meditators on there that would help you with stuff, he kind of breaks down meditation, mindful meditation, in a very simple form. And he always says, meditation, it's simple, but it's not easy. Mm-hmm. And I think that applies to a lot of things. You know, there's so many things. It's like, that's one thing that I need to do. It's right there. I know how to do it, but it's just doing it, you know. Some things are super simple, but it's not always easy to do it.
It's sad, though, because I feel like I said, it's changed my life immensely. Because I'm a super lazy person.
It's easy. It's easy to be comfy, you know?
Well, yeah, but, I mean, just knowing, if you can actually just take that sentence and get it to sink in and realize how simple it is, and realize that you're in total control over your life, it would change everything. But I don't think people think that way, period.
Yeah.
Is that everything that you have now, everything that you are is because of you and nobody else. Everything that you will be because of you and nobody else. Yeah. Nobody is coming to save you. Mm-hmm. It's just a huge deal when I realize that, oh my God, everything I've done is me. And that's a good thing, that's the bad things. That's learning all the shit that I've learned. That's the bad things, being a fucking mechanic at almost 40 years old. Really? I could be doing something else. I mean, it's a good job, but the point is just I want to be able to cram into people's minds how much control they have.
Yeah. Because
you see people that are older than me and still not doing anything, working at McDonald's and stuff. I mean, take credit for that. You got the job at McDonald's. Good on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, why aren't you any further?
I think something that is important to say too is that everybody's goals and what makes them happy is different, and the most important thing is them being happy. You know, everybody. I think that's one of the hardest things to realize as somebody that's becoming motivated and like wanting to strive for a lot of different things and trying to go in all these different areas in kind of like a hectic way. I think sometimes when we see other people who are not doing the same thing, it's easy to say like, oh man, like why isn't he doing that? Like he needs to get on it. He needs to like crush his dreams. But I think it's different for everybody. You know, I don't think that everybody wants the same things that maybe we want. And, you know, maybe like I believe that some people are truly happy, you know, working at whatever job that they're at. You know, maybe they're comfortable and they just have that and they have their family at home and that's all that they want and that's all they'll ever need and they're totally happy, you know, and that's okay. And on the other side of it, it's okay for us to want other things as well, you know. I think it's important that everybody is totally different, and I think one of the hardest things when you're trying to motivate other people that you care about to do things is like, you know, you can't control them and they got to realize that, you know, if they're not happy, then yeah, for sure they should make a change. But if they are, then, you know, maybe they can just do what they're doing. You know, it's working for them. But I think just being happy is like the most important one. And if you're not, and not having regrets, that was probably one of the most profound things for me over the last few months is hearing stories of people that died with regret. And it's like, oh man, like, this life is so minuscule already, such a short period of time in the grand scheme of things, of, you know, the universe or whatever you want to, it's all relative to each other, but all we really have is like our life experiences, people that we share time with. One of my friend's dad, kind of also like a father figure to me, he once told us, me and my friend went to lunch with him one day, and he said, boys, let me tell you something. He said, it doesn't matter if you have money, you have cars, you have all of these things in life. He said, somebody can take that away from you, you know, whether it's the bank or somebody stealing it from you or whatever. He said, the one thing that nobody can take from your life is your life experiences. So go out and get as many life experiences as you can, because those memories and the feelings that you get from that will always be with you, you know? And I think that's why a lot of people lust after travel and stuff, because I think that's one of the ways that you get so much life experience. You get out of this box that is your everyday life, and you can gain things from other people's perspective, you know? So I think that's true, you know? The only thing that you really have in this life are the experiences that you have with yourself, with other people. And so that's like fired me up. Like I'm gonna squeeze every last bit of juice out of this lemon.
I agree with that. So going back to what you said about basically leaving people be, that's something I'm gonna have to work on myself, because I feel like even though it's still early and I don't have anything to show for it, I think I have my life figured out. Probably not, but it certainly feels like I do. So like right now I'm focusing on everybody else, wanting to do the YouTube video, wanting to do this, wanting to help family members. And that's something I actually thought about the other day, was that, you know, just because I want to do and succeed and become great at something or whatever, maybe other people don't, and that's something that's really hard for me to grasp, and I don't really... I need to find something that's going to help me get my mind around the fact that, yes, maybe happiness for them is that.
Yeah, just being stationary or being comfortable. And I think that something that will probably help with that is, like I was saying before with the whole sun and the jacket and the wind thing, instead of, you know, kind of beating a dead horse and constantly being like, yo, like, you need to get your life together. Like, you can be so much more than this. Just kind of the way you go about it, you know, just kind of letting them know where you're at and what you're doing and how it's made you happier, or how you have achieved success in your own way.
Yeah.
And I think that it's much more important and helpful overall to inspire people than to beat them down, you know, almost. Not that that's what we're trying to do, but I feel like most of the time it ends up being like that, because it's when you're dealing with something that you care about or someone that you care about, it's super easy to get passionate. And when you're passionate, you're not thinking things through like scientifically, or, you know what I mean? I feel like that's one of the problem with all of the like politics and things of today, whether it's gun control or everything. People are looking at things from a very emotional standpoint, and emotions are very important in our lives for sure, but when you're talking about like making laws or changing things that are big and going to affect a lot of people, it's very important to take emotion out of it, so you can get down to the facts, look at everything scientifically, so that something isn't getting put through because somebody was super upset about it and it's not right, you know?
Interesting thought. All the things that I hate about politics and stuff like that is I am actually doing. I came up with this analogy a little while ago, and it's that description exactly, and I agree. I think this is probably the way to go, just to put it out there, and then and then you can choose from there. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything anybody says, and you shouldn't just take anything that people say as fact. But I came up with this analogy that the whole "you can do anything" thing is absolute fact for me. It's not a faith thing. Just by definition, again, the whole mailbox thing, if you do it, it's going to happen. That's fact. Yeah. You can't argue it. And so I'm super passionate about it, and I came up with this stupid analogy about, and I haven't made it good yet, but imagine you're just playing with explosives at home one day or whatever, and you decide just for fun, shits and giggles, you booby trap a closet just to see if you can or whatever. And someone you love comes home and they want to put their jacket away in their closet, and you're like, no, there's a bomb back there. There's a bomb back there. You open up that door, you're going to fucking die. You're going to die. And they're like, no, that's fine. But it's not. It's like, no. And then you're super fucking passionate about it because you know exactly what's on the other side. Yeah. And you're like, God, you got to fucking listen to me. You got to do it.
You can't see it right now.
Oh, yes. But it's kind of, that's where I'm at with this thing. I want people that I love and care about to have these same thoughts. And so letting them go is, it's tough. I can't see how I'm going to do that just yet. But I'm going to take your advice, though, and just let it be. Yeah. I'll be passionate about it.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, you definitely need to still be passionate about it and show them, passion transfers, When there was this book I was told about, I never read it. I'm not really into reading books that much, but somebody told me about it, and the subject matter of it sounded pretty interesting. The book was called Blue Like Jazz, and the whole kind of point of it was this guy that wasn't really into jazz music at all, and forgive me, like I said, if I'm totally skewing this the wrong way, because I did not read the book myself, but I was told about it, so just take it as a grain of salt. But it was basically like this guy who wasn't into jazz music or maybe even music at all saw this guy on the street playing jazz. He was like playing the saxophone or some other instrument. And the way that he played it was with so much passion that the guy couldn't help but to get into it. Mm-hmm. Even though he had no connection to it at all before, because of that passion that the guy had for it, he could tell. And like the whole book was kind of about like show people the passion that you have for something, and they can gain a better perspective on it. Uh-huh. And I kind of took that, even though I never read the book, I kind of took that away from it, and I'm like, yeah, that's very interesting. I have seen things like that. You see somebody, even like if you've never skateboarded in your life, you see somebody who's incredibly good at something, and you kind of gain a respect for it. You're like, wow, that's really interesting. For us working on cars and stuff, there's a lot of different styles of customs and stuff. Like lowriders, I've never built a lowrider or done anything like that. It's not really my thing. Mm-hmm. But knowing about it, I know how much work would have to go into that, all the engraving and intricate paint jobs and stuff that they do. I have a respect for people who do that. Even though it's not really my thing, I can still understand it and respect the work and time that they put into it. It's interesting.
I think Peter McKinnon is probably a perfect argument for that. I think why everybody falls in love with him, and definitely me, is that passion that you're talking about. Somebody that just loves what they do so much.
Did you just say that you're in love with Peter McKinnon?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I didn't say it like that, but I guess that's what I'm implying. But yeah, when you see somebody just, oh my gosh, really get into something. And I've always been into photography, so it kind of doesn't really count. But yeah, you just get sucked in immediately, and apparently so many people do. So, yeah. Yeah,
I agree. You can feel, I mean, I don't know him personally, but it feels like he truly is genuine, about it, and really loves what he's doing, and I think that's important,
We're going to meet him one day. He's going to be a total asshole.
No, I don't think so. He's from Canada. Everybody from Canada is nice. So I've heard.
So, yeah, life decisions are being made right now because, yeah, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm just going to do me, do it well, be open to people when they start seeing good shit happen. Be like, wow, what are you eating? I'll be like, man, you can do anything you set your mind to. I don't know.
I eat nachos and I'm successful.
Pretty much. I like that, though.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
Passion is contagious.
Definitely.
And don't force people to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, passion, success, it's all put in the right places. It's contagious, and I think it's good for the world to be motivated about the future and success. Kind of running out of time today, but Elon Musk is another very interesting person in general, and his kind of sight into the future is cool. I really enjoy listening to a lot of his stuff, and how he talks about people need something to live for, something to look forward to in the future. If their whole point in life is just to wake up, go to work, and then die, it's not exciting. You're not truly living. But yeah, we'll definitely have to touch back on that.
Indeed. Especially just to introduce him, because, man, a crazy amount of people have no idea who he is, and that's insane to me.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Like, so many people I talk to, like, I just bring up his name, like he's a friend of everybody's. And who's that? Freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
He's going to be one of the most influential people in the entire world, and nobody knows who he is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that'll definitely have to be something.
For people who still don't know, we're talking about Elon Musk, the owner and creator of the Tesla company. He owns the Boring Company. Just doing a lot.
Going to space.
And
he started PayPal.
Yeah, way back. He's a physicist. He's, some people consider him to be a super genius. And honestly, just a really passionate and kind of like fun person, it seems like. In any of the videos that I've seen with him, just seems like a really good, like, normal dude. And I always enjoy that when somebody who is... It's nice to see somebody who is at that level of success. I mean, he is uber rich, very successful, has tons of companies, and just still seems like a really down-to-earth, like, nice person. And it's good. I like that.
Is that a pun? Playing words? Since he wants to go to Mars?
Oh.
Okay. So is that it for this one, or what?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. Where can people find all this stuff?
Oh, I don't know.
My
part is going to be YouTube.
Yeah,
what is this, Periscope?
We're recording on Anchor, the Anchor app.
That's right. Periscope's and something else. Maybe later.
We're also recording. So this will be on YouTube. The audio will be on Anchor and all of the places that Anchor sends things to. I believe Apple Music and maybe a couple other places. This is the Dream Crushers podcast.
Is that what they're going to search for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess so. Dream Crushers podcast. I'm Kyle.
Aaron.
Instagrams. Would you like to give out your Instagram?
Yeah, Man Candy Creations. I think it's Man Candy _Creations.
It is,
I believe. That's with a K. I don't know if you can read it that far. Probably not. But
yeah, probably not. It's a little wrinkled. Mine is at 1077 THOWSEN.
This is fun.
77.
I think we're gonna have to do it again.
Definitely.
And
hopefully,
hopefully, emotional.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's passion. Yeah, this is fun. Definitely want to do it. Honestly, this is kind of a selfish thing for me and Aaron. We've been wanting to do this for a while, just to be able to sit and talk. Get our ideas out. It's a little bit different when you have just time to sit down and have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the only reason that we're really posting it is maybe somebody would enjoy having a laugh at one of the things that we're talking about.
Sharing that passion, man.
Yeah, sharing the passion, getting inspired. Because I've kind of paying it forward. I've been listening to podcasts and watching videos over the last year, and they've honestly helped me out quite a bit. So I think just kind of giving back to that would be cool. I would enjoy that if somebody took away anything from it. So
that, and it's hard to have this kind of conversation at work when you're on the opposite side of the shop and you got somebody constantly looking at us and
they yell at us. We get in trouble at work for talking too much. We're like kids at school. They try and separate us.
This might help.
Yeah.
I won't want to talk to you for a whole week, so
I know.
It's good.
It's still going to make me sad at work, though.
Whatever.
I'll just sing more.
Great.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you guys later.
You got to say it.
Go out and crush your dreams, everybody.
All right. Bye.